Hi everyone, welcome to today's podcast, Face Facts by Dr. Yusra. On this podcast, we're talking all about vitamin C, the different formulations of vitamin C, who should be using it, who shouldn't be using it, and where and when you should be using it. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so on today's podcast, we're talking all about vitamin C in skincare and in your diet, how this can help your skin. I know that you're here with lots of questions, so I'm here with Sophie.
Hello.
And Sophie's going to ask lots of questions about vitamin C, so let's go.
I am. So, first question. What role does vitamin C play in aesthetics and wellness?
Great question. So vitamin C is the most abundant antioxidant in the skin, and it's absolutely pivotal and vital to create new collagen. Without it, you're basically not going to create collagen. So it's a really, really important ingredient. And you can get vitamin C in your diet, but I think a lot of people think if you eat lots of vitamin C, actually there's no benefit in putting it in the skin. And that's not true. Only a fraction of vitamin C that is absorbed from your diet will actually find its way to your skin. Mm-hmm. So there is a place for topical vitamin C in the skin for certain patients. We'll talk about who and who isn't. But in terms of general wellness, it's definitely something that I would recommend having enough of. And I would say try and get it from your diet. There are risks with having high doses of vitamin C in supplementation, like developing kidney stones. So try and get it from your diet, and you can get it from oranges, strawberries, kiwi, bell pepper. And the general recommendation is 75 milligrams per day for a female and 90 milligrams for a male. And one orange will give you about 70 milligrams. So that's a good guide for your everyday wellness.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to skincare, I think a lot of people find this confusing. Pretty much every single patient has heard of vitamin C. Mm-hmm. They think it's like this holy grail for skin. And they come in and they're using it. And some people are absolutely really not the right person to be using vitamin C. So let's talk about where vitamin C can benefit. Now, vitamin C is an umbrella term. Okay, so there's different types of vitamin C. There can be active forms in your skincare, and there can be inactive forms in your skincare. So the active form is called L-Ascorbic acid. And generally that word ascorbic or ascorbate or anything with ascorbic-ish in the ingredient list means that it's got some form of activity of vitamin C. It's related to vitamin C. So the active form is L-Ascorbic acid, and then the inactive forms are what we call esters. They are derivatives of the active form. They are weaker. They might not be as effective, and they have to undergo a chemical conversion in order to become the active form in the skin. But there is a place for esters for patients in skincare. So let's talk about what vitamin C can do for your skin. Vitamin C ultimately is an antioxidant. And like I said, it is the most abundant antioxidant in the skin. So why is that important? Well, because most of us who are living in urban life will be exposed to some form of UV radiation, which is ionizing radiation, which means when the UV light hits the skin, it has the ability to ionize your atoms, and ionizing atoms means it takes your nice stable skin cell or any cell and knocks off an electron off the actual cell, creating, or of the atom, creating an ion. And this ion can cause damage, So there's something called free radical damage or reactive oxidative species or reactive oxygen species, which basically go around your skin causing damage. They're knocking up the DNA. They're causing a whole havoc to the system. And free radicals come from UV damage, but also from pollution. So we're in the middle of Liverpool right now. You'll find it in every urban city there is pollution. So most of us will be exposed to some form of free radical damage. And antioxidants go up there sweeping up that free radical damage. So they form a layer of protection. They are anti-oxidation. So they are an antioxidant. But vitamin C is the most unstable antioxidant. So it's a double-edged sword, right? So as soon as you open it, it's going to start reacting with oxygen, and it can oxidize. So we're going to talk about how you can tell if your vitamin C in your skincare has oxidized and not oxidized. So typically, why is it so important? Well, vitamin C, like I said, it's a precursor for the formation of collagen. So it upregulates the process of collagen production called collagenesis. So it's needed for neocollagenesis, which is new collagen. So every single person that I know that walks into our clinic wants collagen, right? They're all invested and want to improve the collagen production, the collagen density. We're all aging. no amount of vitamin C is going to stop that aging, but you get to choose if you're aging on the fast lane or the slow lane. And incorporating antioxidants in your skincare does make sense because it can help to fight that free radical damage that you will inevitably be exposed to. Okay? But there's different types of antioxidants, and I don't think vitamin C is for everyone.
No.
So let's talk about L-ascorbic acid in particular. This is, it says it in the name, it's acidic.
Yeah.
So the pH of L-ascorbic acid is somewhere between 3.2 to 3.5 usually. Okay, so it's an acid form. It's hydrophilic, so it likes water, but it's generally not oil soluble, so it doesn't like oil. Now, the upper layer of our skin is called the stratum corneum, which is generally hydrophobic. So it doesn't, you don't just put water in your skin, it penetrates through, and like you're not drinking through your skin. Unfortunately, we're drinking through our digestive tracts, right? So there's a limitation to penetration, but it is seen to be the active form that will penetrate. But because it's acidic, it can cause sensitivity.
Okay.
And not all formulations of vitamin C are the same. So a skincare product that says vitamin C on it isn't necessarily the same as another one that says vitamin C on it because, hey, is that an active form and what percentage?
Yeah.
So percentages is another important thing to talk about because it can be an irritant on the skin.
Okay.
So generally, if you're sensitive, you've got rosacea, you've got any form of inflammation in the skin, you're acne prone. Acne is an inflammatory skin condition. Stay the hell away from L-ascorbic acid. It's just going to anger your skin, and you're going to come in with your skin looking really angry and probably with some form of oxidation on your skin, which will look like blackheads. Okay. So again, this is why it's really important to have a skin assessment to make sure that you're not using something that's not really suitable for your skin. So L-ascorbic acid, great. Like I say, it's an active form. It's generally well tolerated in patients with normal skin.
Okay.
So like they're not reactive, they don't have acne prone skin, they're not necessarily oily, maybe they're a little bit more on the drier end, but they're not sensitive or sensitized. Great. It's also great for pigmentation.
Okay.
So vitamin C actually inhibits an enzyme called tyrosine or tyrosinase. So tyrosinase is called a tyrosinase inhibitor. Tyrosinase inhibitors, and I know it's going to sound quite scientific, but tyrosinase inhibitors inhibit, i.e. stop, the conversion of tyrosine into melanin, and melanin is basically pigment.
Okay.
With me?
Yeah, with you.
Okay. So tyrosinase inhibitors are the name of ingredients that we use to treat hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
So in a patient that has melasma, there have been numerous clinical studies and trials that show that using vitamin C as an adjunct or a precursor or within the skincare routine of a patient who has melasma or hyperpigmentation, it can help because it's a tyrosinase inhibitor. It will stop the formation or the conversion from tyrosine into melanin. Great, fantastic. But not if they're acne prone, right? So again, we've got to be really, really careful about that. So it has this anti-pigmentary effect. It's got this antioxidant effect.
Okay.
It also is synergistic to another really important vitamin called vitamin E, also known as alpha-tocopherol. Okay. So one of the most kind of notorious, really well-known vitamin C serums out there is called SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic. And they have combined vitamin C at 15% with vitamin E, I think it's at 1%, and ferulic acids at 0.3%, which helps to keep the pH low, i.e. acidic, which helps with the penetration. Okay. So that's important. However, alpha-tocopherol or vitamin E and oily based patients can also be a little bit inflammatory. So if you do have an inflammatory skin condition, please consider using other forms of vitamin C or an alternative antioxidant to be a warrior against the free radical damage that will happen. Now, percentages.
Okay.
So percentages, the most effective forms of vitamin C have been found to be over 8%. Okay, so you'll usually find them in formulations between 5% and 20%. Anything more than 20% is total overkill. You do not need 30%. Don't even go there. You don't need it. Why are you doing that to yourself? I think a good starting point for the vast majority of patients is 10%. Okay. And there have been clinical trials and studies that show the improvement in righted fine lines and wrinkles because vitamin C can actually help with collagen production. And more so, it can actually stop something called MMP. So MMPs are, I know you're looking at me like, whoa, science overload, but this is a scientific, this is called Face Facts. It's a scientific podcast. So the MMPs, matrix metalloproteinases, are enzymes that are the bugbear of aging scientists and us anti-aging practitioners, or slow aging practitioners, whatever you want to call it, aging well practitioners. We don't want upregulation of MMPs. We do not want lots of activity of matrix metalloproteinases. There are certain things that will make those MMPs more active, which is UV exposure, which is things like immune-mediated issues, like, for example, diabetics. And what these MMPs do, these matrix metalloproteinases do, is they eat away at collagen. They break up collagen. So you're forming collagen, they eat them away, okay? So you get delayed wound healing. You're generally aging again in the fast lane. MMPs are not great. And you'll see that people who are sitting in the sun end up with accelerated aging. We call that photoaging. And part of that is down to something called upregulation of MMPs and also elastosis. Elastosis is where you get this really haphazard production of elastin, and the skin loses its bounce, loses its elasticity, looks like rolls of skin, you know? Aged, sun-damaged skin. Think of that. That is called solar elastosis. And so vitamin C can actually come in and act like a soldier and stop that upregulation of MMPs. And so in other words, if you are adding vitamin C to your skincare regime, and I hope everyone on this, listening to this podcast, is wearing a sun protection, sun cream of whatever form. If the vitamin C is not an alternative, okay, so it's not going to stop the UV penetration, but it's a turbo boost underneath your SPF. And there have been quotes of somewhere between 6 to 8 times as powerful. If you're using vitamin C under your SPF, it makes it a lot more powerful. It's that turbo boost because it's fighting that UV damage. So it's a great one. And if you want, we can explore further. I don't know what your next question is, but we can explore further about active forms and inactive forms. But hit me with your next question.
My next question, no problem at all. Let's go with that one.
Active versus
inactive,
Okay, so the active one is L-Ascorbic acid, which everybody knows about, everybody has heard of, and we know that it penetrates well. But like I say, not everyone is going to tolerate it very well. So there are esters and derivatives, one of which is MAP, which is, I think, magnesium ascorbic phosphates, called MAP. That one has limited, I would say, impact on the skin. It might brighten the skin, but it's certainly not the most active form. One of the best ones is THC or THD. I've spoken to an amazing cosmetic scientist and chemical engineer called Chidam, who is also known as Skin Masterclass. And we talked about this magnesium ascorbyl phosphate and THC and THD. THC is tetradecyl ascorbic something. Okay. And so this is an esterified form of vitamin C. It's much more stable, it has a more neutral pH, and also it's oil soluble. So it likes oil. So that really helps in skin penetration because our skin has oils in them, particularly patients who are oily. And also it helps, you can pair it readily with other oil soluble ingredients like retinol. So retinol is an oil soluble ingredient, and somewhere between 3 to 5% seems to be quite effective, well tolerated for patients who have acne. And the other one is THC. And the nice thing about this is that and SAP is another one, it's sodium ascorbyl phosphate. And this has been shown to help with, it actually downregulates P. acnes bacteria. So P. acnes bacteria is a bacteria that is kind of the one responsible for acne. It's often seen in a higher level in terms of microbial diversity on the skin in patients who have acne. Now, that is not to say that acne is an infection, because it is not. But one of the bacteria that is responsible for upregulation and formation of pustular acne has been known to be P. acnes. So you can use SAP as a form of vitamin C that actually can be paired really well with benzoyl peroxide. Okay. And when to use it. This is a subject of much debate. I personally recommend, and I think the majority of dermatologists will recommend using it in the morning because it will help with that UV protection.
Yeah.
And that's why we wear sun protection.
Yeah.
We are trying to stop the penetration of the sun into our skin that is smacking about our DNA and our nucleic acids and causing this ionization and causing upregulation of MMPs and so we need this antioxidant to be our soldier in our fight against pollution and against sun protection, against sun ionizing radiation. So using it under your SPF in the morning makes a heck of a lot of sense. But like I say, be really mindful of which one you're going to use if you have an inflammatory skin condition.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt the podcast. I am coming to you to say if you're enjoying this, then I would really love for you to like, subscribe, follow along, and share this with anyone who might find this useful. We are investing a lot of time, energy, and resources into bringing you the best of the best in education, all about faces, bodies, aesthetics, and wellness. And I want to continue to do that, but I need you to subscribe. And if you have any questions, if you want us to address any particular topics, then please leave a comment and we will certainly create videos for you to address those. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
What we'd say to that is reach out and we can certainly help point you a consultation book, point you in the right direction.
Exactly. I think, trying to cut through the noise is really difficult. And and we could talk about the launch of Skin Hub. So Skin Hub is our brand new website, which is a hub of information for anybody who wants to learn more about skincare in particular and who wants personalized guidance. So they can literally go on there, fill out your details, upload your photos. A clinician is going to assess them and then either prescribe you the right products or put you on the correct skincare plan.
Yeah.
And safeguard you from using the wrong vitamin C.
Yeah, there's so many out there. I mean, I wouldn't know
where to start.
Where to start. And I mean, I work in the clinic, so I can imagine how it is for patients who maybe don't have any knowledge.
Yeah.
And there's so much online now, so many trends and fads for patients to try that. Yeah.
I think over the last few years, particularly after lockdown, the amount, because people can come into clinics, they were kind of searching, how do I look good from home, right? I can't come in for my hydrofacial. I can't get my skin boosters. What can I do at home? What kind of skincare should I do at home? So they started Googling and Googling and Googling. And Sheikh Google is not gospel, but they took it as, oh, okay, like this is gospel. And everyone and their best friend is now a skinfluencer, which is dangerous because there's a heck of a lot of misinformation out there. And how do you navigate that noise? And so really we as clinicians have to be cognizant of the sphere of influence our patients are exposed to, because they're going to come in being ingredient savvy, but actually the best products are those that are used in combination, because you don't need 5 different types of vitamin C in your skin. You don't need 5 different hyaluronic acids on your skin. If you have one serum that's got your vitamin C and your hyaluronic acid and, and your other antioxidant, that's it. You don't need all of these things. Yeah. So we have the rise of the educated consumer in a way. They're more aware of the different ingredients out there, but they have no idea which type of vitamin C to use. They have no idea which antioxidant to use. They just know antioxidants are good. So I'll go and buy vitamin C from Boots, because that sounds like it's probably going to do something good to my skin. And it says on it, for brightening. But what does that actually mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So yeah, we're here to help.
We are definitely here to help. My next question is, how does vitamin C benefit your overall wellness beyond skin health?
Oh, great question. Well, again, I think vitamin C is a really important antioxidant. It's needed for the formation of collagen, and your collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. So it's not just about aesthetics, right? It's about health and well-being and improvement in generalized health. And so vitamin C, yes, we've talked about it from a stimulation of collagen production point of view, but actually taking vitamin C has been shown to reduce cardiovascular risk by 20%. But I say that, and I will caveat that, I get really concerned and I'm really cautious with saying to people, go and have vitamin C supplementation, particularly, those tablet forms that are effervescent, that are 1,000 milligrams. Fine if you're going through a particularly hard time or you're immune suppressant, you haven't been eating well and you're not getting it from your diet. Yes, a high dose will help with upregulating the immune system.
Yeah.
And we do know that it will help with cardiovascular health. We do know that it will help with generalized collagen production, and collagen is important for wound healing. It's important for wound differentiation. It's important for cell signaling. It's not just aesthetics.
Yeah.
And we have collagen everywhere from head to toe, right? But because people who are taking chronically high doses have been found to have a higher incidence of developing kidney stones, I am really cautious about supplementation. And again, this is something that we do. We work with our partners at W Wellness to formulate supplementation plans according to our patients, because I think it really should be bespoke.
Yeah.
And if you are taking vitamin C, do consider the bioavailability of vitamin C supplementation. So what I mean by that is when you're taking a vitamin C tablet, let's say effervescent tablets is basically powder in suspension. When you're drinking that, we know that you're absorbing somewhere between 20 to 30%. Okay, so like let's say it's 1,000 milligrams. The amount that you're actually absorbing is like 200 to 300 milligrams. So relatively low, but still higher than the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, right? And there are alternatives called liposomal vitamins, liposomal vitamin C, which I much, much prefer, which is a liquid form. And liposomal vitamins are essentially packaged. The delivery system of this vitamin C is that it bypasses the digestive system and you readily absorb it. So that is called bioavailability. And another thing is often with liquid formulas or liposomal formulas, because you have increased bioavailability and your body is absorbing it, it's not expensive pee. It's not like expensive waste. But vitamin C is important for, like I said, collagen production. So if you're in the middle of, let's say, a treatment like radiofrequency microneedling, which is all about stimulating collagen, but you are low on your vitamin C, you are guaranteed you're not going to get the results that you want. Yeah. Because your fibroblasts cannot produce collagen. They don't have the fuel in the engine to produce the collagen. So you can smack them about as much as you want. You can traumatize those cells, but the wound healing response is going to be compromised because you are low on vitamin C. Yeah. And oral intake of vitamin C is not going to significantly improve the amounts in your skin. So if you are undergoing a collagen activating or collagen stimulating treatment in particular, it makes sense to supplement with a type of vitamin C to upregulate collagen production. I think that's a really important point because if your underlying health is maybe not so good and you're generally deficient, then naturally the way that you're going to respond to treatments is not going to be as good. So we always you got to fix that first, right? So I put a lot of my patients who I'm trying to do collagen stimulation, Sculptra, biostimulators. I say to them at home, I might prescribe a vitamin C. Yeah. And the reason why is because although the RDA, the recommended daily allowance in a female, is 70 milligrams, that is to maintain the amount of collagen that you have. That is a maintenance dose. When you are in a neocollagenesis phase, i.e. we are going through a collagen synthesis cycle, we are trying to increase the collagen density in your skin, you actually need 350% of your recommended daily allowance to formulate collagen. So it makes a lot more sense if you want to turbo boost, all about turbo boosting. Yeah. Turbo boost those results, think about supplementing with vitamin C topically or orally.
Okay. Are there any
in the right form?
Are there any supplements that you would recommend?
There are. I do really like the Altrient's liposomal vitamin C. That comes in a sachet. You can mix that with a drink. Yeah. There's also Skin-Aid, which has 450% of a recommended daily allowance of a bioavailable form of vitamin C, which is also packed with other multivitamins within that and collagen, actually. So that's a really great one for those who are currently under an active skincare plan or skin treatment plan.
Perfect, thank you. So are there any risks with taking vitamin C and applying vitamin C to your skin?
Yes, to both. Okay. So taking more than 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day has been shown to increase the number of people developing kidney stones or cardiovascular issues. So proceed with caution. Don't take more than 2,000 milligrams a day. Applying it on your skin, yes, particularly in the active forms and even in some inactive forms. Particularly sensitivity, irritation, and oxidation and discoloration. So what do I mean by that? Because it's an antioxidant, vitamin C usually comes as this like really mild yellow, kind of well-hydrated pea color. And it's important that it is stored in an airtight container or bottle. because otherwise, as soon as you open it, it starts reacting with the oxygen and it will oxidize and the color will change to an orange color.
Okay.
And that can actually cause a little bit of skin staining for while you're using it. It's not like a forever skin stain. So it can kind of give this yellowish hue to your skin.
Yeah.
So if that's bothersome, just be mindful of that. And you probably want to use your vitamin C up sooner rather than later because it oxidizes quite quickly. Most people, when you have most formulations of vitamin C, particularly L-Ascorbic acid, they go from this light, well-hydrated pea color to a deep, dark, orange-brown color within 3 months. Okay. So use them up. Now, in the past, we used to think actually if it's oxidized and gone to this orange-brown color, it's really not effective anymore, chuck it in the bin. Newer studies are showing that there is still some degree of antioxidant activity, less so because it's an unstable molecule, particularly as L-ascorbic acid is very, very unstable. It's not stabilized.
Yeah.
So open it, it oxidizes, and then you're taking away some of the beauty of it, which is the antioxidant effect. But I would maybe still keep it and use it on my hands and my neck and other areas. Using more than 20%, particularly like 30%, I've seen formulation of 30%, I think is massive overkill and will cause irritation. Acne-prone skin, and pretty much people who are acne-prone, doesn't mean you have active acne, but if you're prone to acne, I don't use L-ascorbic acid. And we know that it can cause a stimulation of acne.
Yeah.
And that is such a, I was going to say rude words, so I'm not going to use it. It's such an annoyance and it's so upsetting for patients. And it's a real bugbear of mine when something is causing more acne because I know how that feels. I'm an acne-prone patient. It is really soul destroying because you then have to undo the damage that you've created.
Yeah.
So, that's not to take away from all of the wonderful benefits, but yes, it can do that. Also, because it's an antioxidant and it oxidizes in the skin, if you've got lots of enlarged pores, you might find that you get more blackheads because the opening of that blackhead can oxidize and it goes black. That's basically what a blackhead is oxidized at the opening. And that can be a real annoyance for patients. So less is more. When you are using your vitamin C, keep it out of direct sunlight. Make sure your vitamin C is in an airtight container. Really, if it's in a dropper, which unfortunately I don't know why, but a lot of them are, which is not great. Better formulations would be a pump so that it's not exposed to air. But if you are, make sure you tighten it. Keep it away from it. Keep it completely away from the light, and make sure that the bottle is dark. Okay, and like I say, less is more. 3 to 5 drops is enough to cover the entire face, neck, and décolletage. So over adding it will cause some degree of inflammation.
No problem. I know you said earlier about using it just in the morning. Is that what you'd recommend for all patients? I know it's very bespoke, but not to
I'd say the vast majority, but it is bespoke and it depends on which formulation. Like, is it THC, THD, MAP? Is it, which is it, magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, which I generally don't think is worth the bang for the buck. I think THC and THD are good formulations. You can find that in Medicate, which is also comes with other products, and you can combine THD with niacinamide and also with retinol. That's a quite nice one. So you can use that in the evening because retinol should be used in the evening because that can make your skin sun sensitive. And look, because vitamin C, the whole point of using that is, I think one of the major things we need to talk about is photocarcinogenic impact. So it actually reduces photocarcinogenesis, which means because we know that UV damage increases the risk of mutations of our cells, UV damage can cause cancer. And several studies have shown that because it upregulates the production of collagen, particularly procollagen type 1, downregulates MMPs, matrix metalloproteinases, it improves wound healing, and it helps to fight back those sun-induced, reactive oxygen species and the free radicals. It has it's anti-photocarcinogenesis.
Okay.
So it has almost like a cancer protection, if you like, so to speak. Okay, that doesn't mean use vitamin C and you won't get skin cancer. So I don't want to be misquoted here, but we know that it has that benefit. And when are we getting exposure to UV? In the daylight. So it makes sense to use it in the morning. And I think in addition to that, it's really interesting that there's a difference in UVA and UVB. UVB is the burning rays.
Yeah.
And UVB is obviously more potent when you have high UV index and also on sunny days. We're in the winter now. It's not maybe the biggest issue in the United Kingdom, But in the summer, it makes a lot more sense to use it because UVB-induced erythema, which is redness, has been shown to be downregulated by the use of vitamin C, even at the formulation of 10%. So 10% vitamin C in laboratory studies have been shown to reduce the risk of sunburns by 40 to 60% and reduce UVB-induced erythema by 52%. So that is a massive reason why we say use this under your SPF, because it is that turbo boost that will protect you against UVB damage.
Perfect. Can you use it all over the body?
You can, but that's going to be expensive. I mean, like one bottle of SkinCeutical CE Ferulic is like, I don't know, 150 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah.
And also remember what we're saying. Like it's for free radical damage as well.
Yeah.
Yes, if you've got pigmentation, you can use that as an add-on. And actually, I'm using it for pigmentation on my arm. After I had my baby, I ended up with hemosiderin staining. After I had a hemorrhage at an iron overload kind of thing where I had an iron boost that basically leaked out into my arms, and I ended up with hemosiderin staining, which is really bad, which looks like dark pigmentation and can be really hard to break up. I am using one of my old, seriously oxidized, dark orange brown vitamin C's where I wouldn't use on my face. I'm using that on my arms, and I have noticed an improvement. But generally speaking, we're talking about UV protection, right?
Yeah.
So like, are your boobies exposed to the sun? Generally speaking, not so much, right? Yeah. So use it where you're going to get sun exposure.
Yeah.
Face, hands, neck, décolletage, go for it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Thanks for coming.